Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of the new book, Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, available now in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. And of course, if you're viewing this in November of 2019, Audible is now offering their holiday special. So you can actually download Twin Flame Romance for free and I think get Audible for the next 3 months for $6.95 a month, which is fantastic. Now, if you're currently reading Twin Flame Romance and you leave a review on Amazon, please take a screenshot of that review. You can email me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com. I will email you a promo code for a free Audible copy of Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy. Also, if you would like to get a twin flame reading with me or just a general angel reading, I do 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. You can email me at that same email address, michellefondinauthor@gmail.com. In the subject line, make sure that you put twin flame reading request or angel reading request in that subject line. So thank you so much for joining me, you guys. Today we're going to talk about why it might be a good idea not to share your twin flame journey with anyone or very few select people. And I like to call this Manifestation 101. The reason that this came to me is because many of us are getting very, very close to the culmination of everything that we've been going through on this journey into reunion with our twin flame. It's becoming very not only time sensitive, but also like emotionally sensitive as a topic. Now, this is something that I could have posted much earlier in the journey. I don't know why I didn't post it earlier in the journey. It just didn't seem necessary. Now that I'm seeing certain things happen in YouTube land, I am compelled to produce this video because I really think it's important for many of you out there to just hear this message. So when you are co-creating or manifesting, so of course you are co-creating with the Creator, right? With God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe. And that manifestation process or that co-creating process involves you and your Creator. It doesn't involve you and 55 different other people in your life or thousands of people on YouTube and across YouTube land, right? And I say this because really what is needed in the co-creation process is a focus in energy. You want to focus your energy on your desired outcome. And when you are sharing with other people, it can be really difficult to remain in that focus of your desired outcome for many different reasons. For that, since I am a storyteller, I'm an author, I like to tell stories. I'm going to tell you a story about my life and creating the desire that I wished to manifest. Back in 2001, yes, 2001. In fact, this whole thing was started by 9/11/2001. I was at the gym during 9/11. I think I mentioned that in the daily inspiration video and not for this story, just I mentioned I was at the gym. I was at the gym on 9/11/2001. That day really made me think deeply. It made a lot of people think deeply about what changes needed to be done in my life. And one of those changes that needed to be done in my life was that I had had a baby a couple years before, and I was still carrying about 26 pounds extra weight of the baby weight that I never took off. And it was truly bothering me. It really... And there were a lot of things that happened in between that. I had gotten cancer and I was going through that, and there was a whole trauma surrounding that. So there was a lot going on in my life throughout that period of time. And like 9/11, that really woke me up to start this program. And I actually did Weight Watchers. I talked a little bit about it in the Twin Flame Q&A last night. I started Weight Watchers at the time. It was a really great program at the time. I really liked it. It was the point system, and I right away, I got on track and I was really determined to lose the 26 pounds that I absolutely needed to lose. And the reason I'm sharing this story in this video is because this was before I heard about co-creating and manifesting. This was before I really understood the concept of that. But intuitively, I felt my way through it. And so you guys are gonna get a little kick out of this. One of the things that I did in order to manifest or co-create my desire to lose 26 pounds was I was married at the time, and I joined Weight Watchers and started the program and went weekly to the meetings. I was really religious about it. I wanted to get rid of the weight. I was sick of carrying that around, and I was very committed to my outcome. One of the things was I made the decision early in the process, so like even before I stepped foot in the door, I made the decision that I was not going to share that with my husband at the time. I just didn't want to. And the reason I didn't want to was because he was from a different country and he was naturally thin. Actually, always weighed less than I did. Even when I was at my thinnest, I don't know if at my thinnest he weighed less, but pretty darn close. Never had a weight problem in his entire life. And for me, I felt that if I shared that I was on this journey to losing weight, that A, he wouldn't understand, B, he would tell me I was weak and dumb and not able to do it on my own, and then also to spend money on that. I knew he thought that that would be the most ridiculous thing on the face of the planet. I made the decision, I said, if I need to do this, I need to do this without anybody's knowledge, anybody's consent, anybody's anything. I really just needed to do it. I needed to absolutely move through this and do this on my own with the Weight Watchers program and with the people in the support group there, but not with the people in my life necessarily. Now my kids kind of knew, because at that point in the game, I'm trying to think, at that point in the game, I think during that year that I was doing the Weight Watchers, I was a stay-at-home mom during that year. Like I said, I had just gotten out of like cancer treatments and all that. So I was staying at home with my kids at the time. And so I was making meals at home. And of course, like part of the system is like counting the points in your food, weighing out your food, measuring your food and all that. And so my kids were small at the time, but I think they had a little bit of cognizance of what was going on. Besides that, and maybe my sister at the time, I think I may have told my sister as I was in it several months down the road, not right away. I told all of my Weight Watchers buddies that my spouse didn't know, and then I kept it from my spouse. And they just thought that was the most hilarious thing, because they're like, how does he not notice that you're like disappearing, like your body is getting thinner? And I was just like, I don't care. Like, I seriously do not want him to know, because I don't want him to derail me from my outcome. And the interesting thing is, about 8 months into the program, where I'd lost like most of the weight, my spouse sat me down and he was just like, something is going on. Are you having an affair? And I thought it was so funny. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, well, your body, it's just getting better. I don't know what's happening. And I was like, okay, maybe it's time to say something now. That was the story there. But I naturally knew that by divulging the information about a really important goal, a really important outcome that I wanted to acquire, to achieve, that I knew if I had naysayers and skeptics and like people that were going to be negative around me, I knew it would derail me from my intended outcome. And fast forward to about 2002 to 2003, which lo and behold, I got pregnant again. I was listening to, and I was just starting my spiritual journey awakening around that time. Now, I had had a previous spiritual awakening at age 18 to 19, and that was like my initiation, my initial phases into really starting to understand self-actualization, self-realization, and just understanding like the power of intention, the power of positive thinking and all that. I was starting on that when I was 18. I started doing yoga, and I had a good teacher and mentor at that time, but then I kind of got derailed off of that. It was about 2003, And interestingly enough, I started listening to Wayne Dyer. I had taken out, and I don't even know what compelled me to do this. I think I was on a journey. That was it. I took some, they were actually, I want to say they were cassette tapes, I think. I don't even know how we even had a cassette player. But I think there were cassette tapes that I took out of the library, and it was Wayne Dyer's, I think it was Your Higher Self or something like that, or Your Sacred Self. That's what it was, Your Sacred Self. So I took a bunch of tapes, not CDs, tapes, out of the library with Wayne Dyer, and maybe they were CDs, I can't remember. Maybe somewhere along the line they were CDs. And one of the things that I never forgot in his teachings was that simple fact, that if you want to achieve your desired outcome, that is between you and God. It's like you don't share it with anybody. And the reason for that is for the same reason why I didn't share the Weight Watchers journey. It's just, it derails you from your intended outcome. And here's why. I'll explain it to you. Because when you share, you are, first of all, dispersing the energy, okay? When you keep a really strong desired goal, like on the inside, what happens, or if you just share it with like one trusted person, like one person that you really trust, what it does is it disperses the energy out. So instead of having this focused laser energy, you now have this dispersed energy. So now the energy is like completely dispersed on the outside, and it's all like widened. So now it's all out there, okay? When you open up your most cherished desire to the outside world, you allow a lot of negativity to come in. It allows for other people to put their baggage all over it, right? They might have negativity, doubt, skepticism, negativity, again, just like the general negativity, just like, oh, you can't do that. Why do you think you can do that? A lot of people have tried in the past to do that, and they haven't been successful in doing that. So why do you think that you can do that? Who are you to think that you can actually do that? And even with people that are generally very supportive of you and your life and your goals, you've got to remember that everybody has their own baggage that they bring to the table. So their own preconceived notions about how life should be, what things should be, and maybe a little bit of jealousy is there too. So you're out there going like, yes, I can achieve this goal. I can do this. I can totally pull this off, and it's going to be amazing and great and wonderful. And they're sitting there like so jealous because they've never achieved the same thing. So while they may not be outwardly criticizing you for having that goal, they might be inwardly going, gosh, I hope they fail. Like, you know what? I've never been able to do that. Why should they be able to do that? Or just like putting some negativity or limitations on your outcome or desire. That is really the reason why it's best if you just keep your twin flame journey to yourself and maybe one other trusted person. But even with that one trusted person, just be really super duper duper careful about what you share, about how much you share, about the extent to which you share. And that is just to protect you and your desired outcome and your twin's desired outcome as well, right? Remember, there are two people in this. It's not just you, it's you and that other person. Unfortunately, we live in a world today where, because of social media and the ease of hiding behind a curtain, so to speak, where people are hiding behind electronic devices and they're hiding behind profile usernames with a hidden identity for the most part, right? Some people put their true names out there, but a lot of people are hiding behind a hidden identity. They have a couple layers between you and them. And the unfortunate piece is many people, especially who have a lot of that emotional baggage or a lot of doubts or self-worth issues, they find that with the layers between you and them on social media especially, right? Even on these forums, right? Even in the comments section or even on the Q&A section, some people find that they can just say anything they want because, again, there's that hidden identity. They're completely removed pretty much from the person that is on the other side of that comment. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And that, like, it's for all of those reasons that it's just best that you keep it to yourself, that you just keep it to yourself, because honestly, you don't know who has good intentions, who has poor intentions, and you don't even know if the subconscious intentions are good or bad. One trusted person, or maybe two, just depending on who the people are and the context of the situation as well. Now, obviously, if you're getting a reading from a trusted person, you're going to need to reveal a little more of your story to that trusted person. But then the good thing about something like that is that if you really trust the person who is reading for you, then as soon as that reading is done, it's kind of like a dispersed energy again, but it's just like it's given back to you. The energy is just given back to you. So that reader is going to give you back your energy, give you back your story, and then you both go along your merry way until the next reading. It works a little bit differently. What I'm really talking about are like strangers on social media or even on these forums, comment section, Q&A, like just be really careful about what you share, as well as the people in your life that you have to see time and time again, whether it be work colleagues or family or friends. Just be really super careful. Now, the other thing that I really write about in the book, but I wanted to emphasize here as well, is be super careful about what you say about your twin flame, because you are carrying that energy with you. If you have these feelings of negativity about your twin, and then you're carrying that out into the world as well, if you're sharing that part of the story as well and just carrying that negative energy out into the world. And that's another thing that you just have to be really, really careful about. It's kind of like the expression, be careful what you wish for, right? You just want to keep it on the positive, but also keep your goal in mind with focused intention. And one of the ways with that focused intention is just to keep it as silent as possible. And just, you put it in your journal, you put it in your meditation room, you put it in letters to your twin, whatever you want to do, but try to keep it as private and as focused as possible, and that will get you closer to your desired outcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Share this video with other twin flames, and thank you so much for buying a book or two or three and pledging your support on Patreon. Now, I'm doing some special stuff with Patreon upcoming. The Q&As are going to be of yesteryear on YouTube, and it will be for patrons only, with mini readings and Q&As and all that fun stuff, and just like these private sessions for the patrons on Patreon. So it's www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin, and I will see you in the next video.